It's early January 2025. The WNBA season is a distant memory of sold-out arenas and record ratings. Its echoes replaced by the quiet hum of the off-season, a time for recovery, negotiation, and, for many players, the lucrative grind of overseas competition. In this informational vacuum, where official news is scarce, the social media activity of the league's stars becomes a form of scripture, parsed by fans and analysts for clues about the future. Into this quiet Kelsey Mitchell of the Indiana Fever posts. The images are from Miami, from the training grounds of Unrivaled, the new stateside off-season league. She's in peak condition, focused, wearing the number 0, the same number she wears for Indiana. The caption is not a generic basketball cliché. It is 5 deliberate words, eyes open, mouth closed. In the hyper-connected world of modern sports, such a phrase is never just a phrase. It is a statement. It is the posture of an observer, a strategist, someone who is acutely aware of their surroundings but is choosing, pointedly, not to speak. It is the hallmark of someone in the midst of high-stakes negotiations, advised by representatives to let actions and market value do the talking. The post, as expected, generates tens of thousands of likes, a flurry of supportive comments from fans and fellow players. But one comment, arriving within hours, cuts through the digital noise and ignites a firestorm of speculation. It's from her teammate, the player who, in just one season, redefined the Fever's universe, Caitlin Clark. Clark's comment is just 3 words: "Let's go, Kelsey." On the surface, it's simple, supportive, enthusiastic, exactly what you'd expect from a teammate. But in the context of this specific offseason, involving this specific player, at this specific moment, those 3 words have become a Rorschach test for the entire Indiana Fever franchise. Is it just camaraderie? Or is it a strategic public endorsement? A subtle nudge from the franchise's crown jewel to the front office? To understand why a social media interaction carries this much weight, we have to pull back the lens far back and examine the tectonic plates that are shifting beneath the entire WNBA, with the Indiana Fever sitting directly at the epicenter. To appreciate the stakes, we must first remember what the Indiana Fever were before April 2024. They were a respected franchise with a proud history, but in the modern WNBA landscape, they were an afterthought in the national conversation. Attendance was middling. National TV slots were rare. They were a team in the process of a rebuild, with a promising young core led by 2023 Rookie of the Year Aaliyah Boston. But they lacked the galvanizing force to catapult them into the league's elite tier. Then came Caitlin Clark. Her arrival wasn't just the addition of a phenomenal rookie. It was a cultural and economic asteroid strike. Overnight, the Fever weren't just a basketball team. They were the main event. Every road game became a home game, flooded with fans wearing #TWATWO jerseys. Television ratings for Fever games didn't just improve, they shattered league averages, often tripling them, drawing audiences that rivaled NBA regular season broadcasts. The franchise's valuation skyrocketed. Merchandise flew off shelves. The entire economic ecosystem of the team, and to a large degree the league, bent toward her gravitational pull. But here's the critical, often understated, part of that first magical season. Caitlin Clark did not do it alone. And the person most instrumental in that transition from spectacle to credible playoff contender was Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell, the steady, prolific scoring guard, who had been the Fever's offensive engine for years, faced a monumental shift. The ball, which had so often been in her hands, would now primarily be in the hands of a transcendent, ball-dominant rookie. How would she respond? With remarkable grace and spectacular effectiveness, Mitchell adapted her game seamlessly. She became the perfect running mate, a lethal catch-and-shoot threat who could space the floor, a secondary ball handler who could relieve pressure, and a crunch-time scorer who could create her own shot when plays broke down. She averaged a career high, tying 19.2 points per game. But more importantly, she did so with elite efficiency, thriving in the spaces Clark created. She provided a veteran's poise in a young locker room. She was the defensive focus for opponents when they threw double teams at Clark. There was no public friction, No, this is my team drama, just winning basketball. She was, in every sense, the ideal co-star. And she performed this crucial, franchise-altering role, while being one of the most underpaid players of her caliber in the entire league. This brings us to the uncomfortable financial heart of this story. For the 2024 season, Caitlin Clark's rookie-scale salary was approximately $76,535. Kelsey Mitchell's salary was roughly $206,000. Meanwhile, comparable all-star caliber guards across the WNBA were earning upward of $200,000, with true superstars commanding the supermax of over $240,000. Mitchell was outperforming her contract dramatically. She was providing near supermax value for a fraction of the price. This is a common reality in professional sports veterans outperforming deals signed before a market shift or a personal breakout. What makes this moment different is the confluence of three factors. Mitchell's unrestricted free agency. Her contract has expired. She is no longer bound to Indiana. She can sign with any team in the league that has the cap space and the desire. The imminent CBA renegotiation. The league's collective bargaining agreement has a hard deadline. The players' union, empowered by the league's unprecedented growth in revenue and visibility growth, led in no small part by players like Clark and Mitchell, is pushing aggressively for a larger share of the pie. This means a significant salary cap increase is almost certain. The max salary is poised to jump, perhaps substantially. The free agency market is about to be flooded with new money. Caitlin Clark's immeasurable value. Clark's on-court value is immense, but her off-court commercial value is historic for the WNBA. She is a one-woman economic stimulus package. Her next contract, which she will be eligible to negotiate soon, is expected to shatter all existing paradigms. But her presence also creates a Caitlin Clark premium, the value of being the player who successfully complements her, who helps maximize her talents and, by extension, the franchise's success. Kelsey Mitchell has just proven she is that player. So, Mitchell hits free agency not just as a 28-year-old all-star in her prime, coming off a career-defining season, but she does so at the precise moment the entire salary structure of the league is expected to inflate. Her market value has never been higher. From the perspective of the Indiana Fever's front office, led by General Manager Lynn Dunn, this is a high-stakes calculus with nightmare potential. On one hand, they cannot afford to lose Kelsey Mitchell. Losing her isn't just subtracting 19 points per game. It's removing the only other proven, consistent, high-volume shot creator from the roster, destabilizing the backcourt chemistry that was their greatest strength, sending a terrible signal to Caitlin Clark about the franchise's commitment to winning now, forcing them to enter the market to replace her, a market where every team knows they are desperate, driving up the price for any comparable player, who would then have to learn the system and build chemistry from scratch. On the other hand, they cannot recklessly overpay. The Fever are not just building a team for 2025, they are building a dynasty around Caitlin Clark for the next decade. Clark's mega extension is on the horizon, likely to be a designated player contract that will consume a massive chunk of the cap. Aaliyah Boston will also need a significant extension soon. The Fever must manage their cap sheet with surgical precision to ensure they can pay their homegrown stars and surround them with a championship-caliber supporting cast for years to come. If they pay Mitchell a true, new CBA inflated supermax, does that handcuff them in future seasons? Can they still afford the defensive specialist, the backup point guard, the veteran post presence they need? It's a razor-thin margin for error, and hovering over every spreadsheet, every negotiation call, is the silent, powerful presence of Caitlin Clark. She doesn't need to storm into the front office. Her leverage is omnipresent. The franchise's entire modern identity and financial worth are tied to her. If she subtly or not so subtly indicates that her long-term happiness is linked to playing with Mitchell, that becomes the most important variable in the equation. This is why the setting of Mitchell's Instagram post Unrivaled is so symbolically charged. Unrivaled, founded by Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, was created with a mission: to provide WNBA players with a lucrative, stateside off-season alternative to the grueling overseas circuit. It pays elite wages for a short season. Mitchell reportedly turned down the inaugural season to play in Turkey, where the financial package was presumably better. Her presence in Miami for Season 2 is telling. It suggests one of two things. Either Unrivaled made her a can't refuse offer, rumored to be in the $150,000, $250,000 range for 8 weeks, or Mitchell made a strategic decision to remain highly visible in the American sports media landscape during her critical free agency period. While she's in Miami playing with and against other stars, she is showcasing her skills directly to any front office that might be watching. Every crossover, every three-pointer, every clip that circulates on social media is a reminder. This is what you're getting. This is the player in her prime. Conversely, Caitlin Clark is not playing in Unrivaled. She has reportedly turned down significant offers, potentially including equity stakes, for 2 consecutive years. She is in Iowa, rehabbing the ankle injury that limited her rookie season, focusing singularly on preparing for the WNBA grind. Her choice is a statement of its own. Her priority is the Fever and the WNBA championship. But her decision to publicly engage with Mitchell's Unrivaled content and not, notably, with similar posts from other teammates, becomes a pointed form of participation. She is, from a distance, amplifying Mitchell's offseason. Meanwhile, the Fever's social media team is engaged in what can only be described as real-time reputation management. Their feeds are flooded with throwback highlights from All-Star Weekend, behind-the-scenes fun from Feverfest, clips of players on Good Morning America. The message is unity, continuity, family. But the astute observer notes the absence. No fresh content of the full core together in the present tense. No videos from a joint training session. And most conspicuously, no announcement of a contract extension for Kelsey Mitchell. The silence is deafening. The rest of the WNBA is not a passive audience to this drama. General managers are strategists, and they see a rare opportunity. The Dallas Wings, the Atlanta Dream, the new Golden State franchise teams with cap space and ambition are undoubtedly placing calls to Mitchell's agent, James Dunleavy. Their pitch is straightforward. Come be our undisputed #1 option. We will pay you a true max contract from day one of the new CBA. Help us build something here. For Mitchell, these offers are more than leverage. They are legitimate, life-altering choices. In Indiana, she is the beloved, homegrown star turned perfect co-pilot. Elsewhere, she could be the face of a franchise, the primary offensive engine, with the salary to match that status. The trade-off is leaving the brightest spotlight in the sport, the chemistry she's built, and the chance to chase championships with a generational talent. It is the classic sports crossroads: money, role, and legacy. So, we return to the Instagram exchange that sparked this entire deep dive. Kelsey Mitchell. Eyes open, mouth closed. Caitlin Clark. Let's go, Kelsey. Let's dissect the possible meanings, layer by layer. For Mitchell, eyes open, mouth closed is almost certainly a negotiated posture. It says, I see everything. I see my value. I see the market. I see the Fever's moves, or lack thereof. I see other teams interested, but I am not going to discuss it in the media. I am not going to apply public pressure. I am not going to give anyone sound bites to use against me. My game and my representatives will do the talking. It is the caption of a professional who knows her worth and is operating from a position of strength and patience. For Clark, Let's Go Kelsey exists in a murkier, more impactful space. The surface read, plausible. It is exactly what it appears to be: an excited teammate cheering on a friend and colleague during her off-season work. Clark is an enthusiastic supporter of her peers, and this is perfectly in character. The strategic endorsement, likely. Given Clark's legendary basketball IQ and her growing awareness of her own business footprint, it is almost impossible to believe she is unaware of the subtext. Commenting specifically on Mitchell's pivotal free agency off-season post, while staying silent on other teammates' activities, is a signal. It's a way of publicly affirming Mitchell's value to her. It's a nudge to the Fever fan base to appreciate Mitchell. And, crucially, it's a gentle, deniable, but unmistakable message to the front office. This is my partner. This is who I want to play with. Figure it out. The farewell salute. Possible, but less likely. Could it be a final public show of support because Clark privately knows Mitchell is leaving? It's a dark theory for Fever fans, but in the business of sports, it's possible. If negotiations have soured and Mitchell's departure seems imminent, this could be Clark's way of saying thank you and good luck in the public square. The most probable interpretation blends the first two. It is genuine support amplified by strategic awareness. Clark doesn't need to be overt. A comment here, a like there, a shared moment in an interview, these are the currencies of soft power that a player of her stature wields. This negotiation is not an isolated event. It is the first major test of the Fever's championship medal in the Caitlin Clark era. How they handle it will set a precedent and send a message that reverberates for years. If the Fever secure Mitchell with a competitive, respectful contract that acknowledges her true worth and her vital role, it will be a thunderous statement of intent. It tells Clark, Boston, and every future free agent that Indiana is serious about winning, that they reward their own, and that they understand the value of chemistry and continuity. It solidifies them as the team to beat and the destination of choice. If they lowball Mitchell, engage in hardball tactics, or worse, let her walk over what is perceived as financial stubbornness, the repercussions could be catastrophic. It would immediately cast doubt on the front office's competence and ambition. It would force Clark to carry an even heavier load, potentially stunting the team's growth. Most dangerously, it would plant a seed of doubt in Clark's mind about the organization's commitment to building a perennial contender around her. When her own extension talks begin, that seed could grow. The unthinkable question, would she consider leaving in free agency to chase rings with a more aggressive franchise, would enter the conversation. The Fever are not just negotiating a contract with Kelsey Mitchell. They are negotiating the trust of Caitlin Clark. They are negotiating their short-term championship window and their long-term dynasty hopes. They are, effectively, negotiating their own future. The timeline is clear and relentless. January 9th, 2025. The CBA negotiation deadline. The new financial landscape of the WNBA will be revealed. The salary cap number for 2025 and beyond will be set, defining the market for Mitchell's services. Free agency opens. Shortly after, the legal tampering period ends, and offers can be signed. Mitchell's phone will ring. Formal offers from Indiana and other suitors will be tabled. The decision. Mitchell, with her agent and family, will weigh the proposals. Is it the largest possible number? Is it the best fit for her playstyle and family? Is it the chance to win championships? Is it loyalty to the franchise that drafted her? The announcement. A social media post, a press release. The answer will come. Either a Fever graphic with Zero and Signed, or a heartfelt thank you to Indiana and an introduction to a new city. The aftermath. The Fever either move forward with their core intact and the league on notice, or they scramble in a frenzied free agent market to fill a Kelsey Mitchell-sized hole, all under the watchful, evaluative eye of Caitlin Clark. In the grand theater of professional sports, where billion-dollar television deals are brokered and legacies are forged, it is easy to dismiss a three-word Instagram comment as trivial digital ephemera. But context is everything. When those words pass between two athletes at the precise intersection of career-defining free agency, franchise-altering star power, and a league-wide financial revolution, they become a focal point. They become a symbol. "Let's Go Kelsey" is a flare shot into the January sky. It illuminates the entire landscape. The player seeking her worth. The franchise balancing its books and its dreams. The superstar whose silent approval is the most powerful force in the equation. And a league of rivals waiting to pounce. The story playing out in Indiana is a microcosm of the modern WNBA. A story of explosive growth, hard-nosed business, and the delicate art of building something special before the window slams shut. Kelsey Mitchell's free agency is the first major plot point in the Caitlin Clark era. How it resolves will tell us not just about the 2025 Indiana Fever, but about what this franchise and perhaps this league truly values. The eyes of the basketball world are open, and in Indianapolis, the mouths in the front office had better be ready to speak with their actions, because their future depends on it.